Hey English 102 online students, welcome to week 13 of our course. So now that it's week 13, we have 15, 16 or so weeks in the semester, including finals week, and so that means we're definitely coming close to the end. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at our course calendar and see where we're headed this week. So this past week, week 12, you worked hard on your annotated bibliographies. I did get some really good questions from some students in the class as they were working on them, so I'm really glad to see that that's been your focus this week. So once you've submitted those by 11:59 tonight, it'll be about a week when I'll return them back to you. I should have your critical response essays back to you by Tuesday at the latest. So Tuesday for the critical response essay and about 1 week later for the annotated bibliography comments. This week, week 13, we're moving on to a few other components of your final research project that you're going to be practicing and learning about. And those three topics are thesis statements, academic paragraphs, and conclusions. In an earlier module, you did learn about academic paragraphs, like with the ICE method, integrating sources, quoting, paraphrasing, but now you're going to be practicing it in a different activity to kind of solidify those concepts in your mind before you start working on your final research project. The draft of that is coming up in week 14, so just to keep in mind the things that are coming up as we move on. All right, so let's go into My Classroom and into our course modules area. And we're going to take a look at Module 8, putting everything together. Okay, so in this module, you will see that you're going to be learning about 4 types of thesis statements. You're going to be drafting your own working thesis statement for your final research project. And when I say working thesis statement, it means it's a thesis statement in progress. It can be revised, and we want to revise it. They can always be tweaked until we get to the draft and the final version of your paper. Okay, we're also going to be reviewing integrating quotations and paraphrases in academic paragraphs, and you'll be learning about effective conclusions. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter in there. And you'll see all of this is due on Sunday, November 21st. And so for the first assignment, 4 types of thesis statements, you're going to be watching a video about those 4 types and getting familiar with them. And then you're going to use what you learn from that video to make a draft of your own working thesis statement for your final problem solution research report. And if you haven't had a chance to look at that yet, I strongly recommend going to the final module folder, which is the one just underneath this Module 8 folder, where you can go ahead and start to take a look at all those assignment guidelines and get familiar with what you're going to be doing in that final project. Everything you've been doing in the course up to now has been leading to that final project. So the curiosity essay was to start considering what you were really interested in. The critical response was to take one source on your topic and do a critical evaluation of it. The annotated bibliography is a list of all your potential sources with summaries and annotations along with the citation of each source. So it gives you kind of a working works cited list, if you will, a potential works cited list for your final paper. And then your final paper is the culmination of all this work that you've done throughout the semester. Okay, so in this 8.1 assignment, as it tells you here, your thesis will likely take the form of a report plus research thesis statement. That's one of the ones they mention in the video. So just take a look at that one specifically and see if that could serve as a good model for your own potential research or your own potential thesis statement. I'll be giving you feedback on your thesis statement to let you know if it's too broad, too specific. Usually students tend to err more on the side of too broad than too specific, but I will definitely give you advice about how you can revise it and make it even stronger. Okay, so 8.2, like I said earlier, is a review of putting together an academic paragraph. Okay, you've got 2 videos attached there. One is for MLA style, one is for APA style. You only need to watch the video for the style that you are going to be using in your final paper. If you're not using APA, you don't need to look at that one. I don't believe anybody is planning on using APA for their final research project, but it is there in case it's useful to you for the future. Okay, so you'll watch this video for a review on integrating sources using quotations and paraphrases. And then you'll download the exercise on putting together an academic paragraph with integrated sources. Okay, so it's important to listen carefully about how this works. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this document, and I'll let you know what you need to do. So there are different labels that you're going to be using for the different sample paragraphs that you see here. So the first topic is about domestic surveillance. That means like government surveillance on people through technology, through the internet. The second topic is recognition of the video game industry. And the third topic is childhood obesity and screen time. All of these paragraphs come from real students' problem solution research reports from past semesters. So they might give you a really good idea of what a paragraph in your own paper might look like. So what I'm going to be asking you to do is just to label the different parts of each paragraph. So level 1, is it a problem or is it a solution paragraph? So you would label either problem or solution, depending on which one you think it is. Okay, so you're not going to be using yellow anywhere in the main paragraph itself. Okay, as we keep going here, let me navigate to the right spot there. Okay, so the level 2 label, the kind of blue color, you're going to be identifying the claim or the topic sentence of each paragraph. That's most likely going to be the first sentence or 2 sentences, so that should give you a good hint right there. The next thing that comes after the claim or the topic sentence is the reason. So those are the reasons explaining the claim or the topic sentence. Number 4 is, in the purple color, is evidence. So you're going to be finding the evidence that supports that claim and that reason. And that's kind of the way an academic paragraph works. And then finally, the gray color is the concluding or transition sentences to the next paragraph. You're probably going to highlight all the text in every paragraph with some color, and I think they're most likely going to follow one after the other. So see how you do with that. See if you can identify those different sections of an academic paragraph for each of the topics. Okay, and there is one question here that I'll ask you to answer too. So why does each paragraph need topic and concluding sentences? What's important about that? Okay, and the rest is just labeling each of the paragraphs to make sure that you can identify how all the different pieces work together. Okay, and then finally, assignment 8.3. You're going to be doing a little bit of reading in an open source textbook that we've used for a few other assignments. So in that Rhetoric and Composition online textbook from Bay College, you're going to be reading about writing conclusions. And that's from the middle of page 106 to the top of page 109. You can skip exercise 3 for now. Read the example introductory paragraph at the bottom of 108. You'll indicate which techniques the writer used in her conclusion and comment on how each sentence adds to the strength of the paragraph. And then in number 2, as stated in exercise 3, restate the thesis you wrote previously in this module. So in exercise 8.1, then add some concluding remarks and a general emphatic statement. So you'll combine these into a draft of the conclusion for your problem solution research report. So you're basically taking the thesis you worked on in exercise 8.1, you're putting it in different words, restating your thesis just like you would in a research paper, and then you're adding other ideas that you would add to a conclusion. So in this module, you're actually coming up with a thesis statement, you're restating that thesis statement in a potential conclusion and kind of drafting out a conclusion at the same time. So this module sort of pieces together all the components of a research paper: an introduction, what a body paragraph would look like, and what an effective conclusion should look like too. Okay, so as it tells you here, you will copy and paste both of these paragraphs from 1 and 2 into a Word document. Just use comment boxes to add your thoughts to part 1, and then attach your draft conclusion on the same document and just upload it at the 8.3 assignment right here. And I will go ahead and give you my feedback on that as well. So in addition, like I said before, if you go back to the modules area and we scroll all the way down to the final module, you can go ahead and start looking ahead to the different assignments coming up as we wrap up the semester. So you have your major writing assignment 4, the problem solution research report, some sample essays in MLA and APA style. You have assignment 9.1 that's going to come up the week after you submit the draft of your final paper. That's a peer review assignment. There's also going to be an online presentation that you're going to prepare based on your research. It's an individual presentation. You don't have to present it to other students in the class. I'm the only one who's going to see your presentation. But you can go ahead and start to take a look at the guidelines for that here. And then the last link you see there is just to upload your assignment, your final research project on the very last day of our class for the semester during finals week. Okay, so that's everything you need to know for this week. We're getting close. We're definitely, I guess, getting close to the finish line. It's almost here. So if you have any questions, concerns, anything you would like to ask me about, don't hesitate to send an email, drop by my office on campus. I have had the chance to meet a few of you, which has been really great. And I wish you a great week.